What is happening, wonderful people? So I just got done watching the last 4 episodes of Wonder Man, and in this series, Hollywood actor Simon Williams is thrust into the world of superheroes as he gets powers of his own and becomes the new superhero, Wonder Man. And that's all I can say without giving too much away. Let's talk about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
So Wonder Man, when it comes to Wonder Man, it's really interesting because Wonder Man is a character, a Marvel character. Obviously, y'all know I love Marvel, and I've loved Marvel ever since I was little, and I know almost every single character, and I like majority of the Marvel characters, right? But Wonder Man is one of the Marvel characters that I've known about ever since I was little. You know, I've known about him, I've known of him, right? But I never knew really much about him, like his backstory, his lore. I never knew much about him, but I've always found him to be a very mysterious and interesting character. And when it comes to the overall show, the trailers didn't really do much for me. I saw the concept in the trailers and I was like, okay, if executed properly, if the writing's good, if the acting's good, which with Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, they're both phenomenal. They're both two of the greatest actors walking on the planet today. I was like, if executed right, with the great writing, with the great acting and all that, this could be really good. But at the same time, I was like, I'm not sure. And the reviews rolled around a couple of days ago and people are really enjoying it. But with me, after having seen, I watched the first 4 episodes last night and I just finished watching episodes 5 through 8 earlier. After having now seen it, I'm kind of in the minority. It's okay. So if you're new to my channel, or if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I like to talk about my positives first, then my negatives next. But even when I need to be negative, I will be positive. Even when I need to be positive, I will be negative as well. And overall, I thought the show was okay. I think out of all 8 episodes, even though episode 5 is the shortest, I will say I think episode 5 is my favorite. Not saying that's a great episode either, but I do think that's my favorite with how chaotic that episode was. And when you watch episode 5, you'll understand what I mean. You'll be like, oh, that is pretty chaotic. And it's kind of chaotic in a funny type way, in a way where you're like, oh, I'm kind of having fun with this episode, actually. It's kind of chaotic in a good frantic way, in a good funny way. And overall, it's not a horrible show by any means, but it's just one that I feel like I'm in the minority on. I know majority of people are loving this show, and I am so happy about that. If you are really enjoying it, like the 90% of movie critics out there on Rotten Tomatoes, because it has like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, so technically 10% didn't really enjoy it, 90% did in a way, sort of. I'm just kind of in the minority. Like, I really think, starting off with the positives, you know, it is directed well, especially for a Disney Plus show. A lot of the Disney Plus shows were directed well, you know, whether it's WandaVision, Loki, whether it's just all those type of shows, you know what I mean? I do think it is directed well, though, and it does have a really great color grading to it. It has a really good color palette to it. It's really pleasing to the eye, and it is really rich. And the one thing that I really do like about this show as well is that it is a character study. It is a character study, and I think Yahya Abdul-Mateen is great as Simon Williams, Wonder Man. He's really great as in the role. He's great as the character, and I'm excited to see him as a character in the future. I hear we're supposed to get him in Doomsday. That's just a rumor right now. I don't know how big of a role he'll have, but that'll be interesting. That'll be cool. And when I say character study, mainly for his character, because obviously he's the lead, you know, we're following him mainly, it's really interesting to watch his character grow throughout the show. And the thing with this character is you really, when you're introduced to him in the show, you're like, man, there's something going on with him, but I can't figure out what it is, and how he's able and how he struggles on balancing his secret identity as a superhero, which she's not fully a superhero until like the end of the last episode, right? Him struggling with his powers and trying to keep it a secret, but also him wanting to become an actor because that's what he's passionate about. That's his dream, and he's trying to achieve that dream and those goals. And you just see how he's struggling. It's like Peter Parker with his work and personal life, with him being Spider-Man, a superhero, right? And I just think it's a really great character study in here. And Yahya is great in here. He gives he gives an amazing performance. He gives an absolutely great performance. And I think Ben Kingsley in here is absolutely phenomenal. Him as Trevor Slattery. I think Ben Kingsley is a great actor. He's an Oscar-worthy actor. And just the way he plays Trevor Slattery is so just all over the place, chaotic, but in a funny way. And he is absolutely hysterical. Whether he was in Iron Man 3, whether he was in Shang-Chi, whether he was in here, he's hysterical. I thought he was funny in Shang-Chi, but I thought he was funnier in Iron Man 3. I think he's the funniest in here. Like, for me, it goes, he's the funniest in Wonder Man, Iron Man 3, then Shang-Chi, but he knocks it out of the park. He does such a good job. And, you know, you could definitely tell that Yahya really does care about this character, and you could tell that Ben Kingsley really still does, you know, like playing Trevor Slattery in a way, and they both bring the charm, the charisma, and they're somewhat both funny in their own way, you know, and it did make me smile a few times because, you know, this whole show, I love the meta-ness of it, the meta aspects of it, because you have Wonder Man, who is a Marvel Comics character who was created, right? And this show is based on him. But in the MCU, the Sacred Timeline 616, right? There was a movie made back in the day called Wonder Man, and Simon Williams is basically recreating the Wonder Man movie, and he becomes a hero. And it's just really interesting how they do that in here, the whole meta-ness and the meta aspects of it. I absolutely love that. And it just really brought a smile on my face a few times, because there's a scene like the first episode where it shows Simon as a kid in the theater with his dad, and he's watching a really old movie, and you just see the smile on his face. And then there's a scene in like the first or second episode where Trevor and Simon, and when he's grown up, they're in a theater at the same time watching a movie, and you see the smile on both of their faces and see how passionate they are. And it's just, that's something that I can relate to, because whenever I'm in the movies, obviously I smile because that's what I'm passionate about, obviously, right? And I just thought that was so awesome. I thought that was so cool. And, you know, I again, like I said, I think the color grading is great. Again, I think both of them, Ben Kingsley, Yahya, are both great in here. And, you know, I like the cat and mouse aspect of it. You know, I really, because you have the Department of Damage Control in here, and they were in Miss Marvel, they were in No Way Home, they're going to be a Brand New Day, and they're after Simon, which it kind of adds a cool type, like, cat and mouse aspect to it, which I really liked. And, you know, there's a good use of pathos in here, and it is very poignant at times, because as someone who wants to accomplish my dreams, who has accomplished some of my goals so far, it can get very scary at times when you're like, man, am I going to accomplish my dreams? I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep going. And it can be scary at times, but it can be like, man, you can be down at times. You can be like, man, I hope I accomplish my dreams. I'm not going to give up. And I like the use of pathos in here. I do. And it's very poignant at times as well. And it has good world building in here. And, you know, again, there are some really, really good things in here. It does swing for the fences as well. It is a very bold show. And also at the same time, it's one of the most unique shows and projects MCU has done, Marvel has done. But now talking about my negatives, again, like I said, I thought the show was okay. Like I said, there are some really great things about it. There are some things that I really enjoyed. But overall, I just felt like I was kind of in the minority on it. And that's just my personal opinion. That's just what I saw is what I took away from the show as a whole. And, you know, the story, I feel like, isn't as strong as it should be. It didn't work as well as it should have. And I really think this concept, let alone, is a concept that really could work if executed right, with great writing, with great acting, with great camera movements, and with great just execution all around overall. But I just didn't feel like I was overall invested as much as I wanted to be into the story. I didn't think, you know, while Yahya is great as Simon, as Wonder Man, while Ben Kingsley is great as Trevor Slattery, again, right? I like their characters. I really do like their characters. You do get more invested into Trevor because of how funny he is, you know, how charismatic he is. And you really do want to learn more about Simon. You want to learn more about his lore and him as a character. You know, he's very layered, and you want to learn more about him, you know, his backstory, because he is an interesting character study when it comes to his character, right? But the story overall, I just really couldn't get overly connected to it as much as I wanted to. And, you know, it doesn't feel like a Marvel show. I know people were comparing it to Seth Rogen's A Studio last year, and I only saw the first 2 episodes at South by Southwest last year, which I liked the first 2 episodes. I didn't watch the other episodes, but I didn't honestly feel how it felt like the studio. I don't understand what people meant by that. Maybe like I don't know. I didn't find it to be like the studio. I didn't feel the studio vibe. That's what I mean to say. That's what I meant to say. Like I didn't feel that. And you know, the thing is, the MCU, even with the first Iron Man, the first project of the MCU, right? The MCU has a very unique, rich, and distinct vibe to it, right? And I didn't feel that vibe in here. Throughout the entirety of the series, I didn't feel that rich, unique, and distinct overall MCU vibe that you feel in every single project, even some of the multiverse projects, right? And you know, people were praising Yahya and Ben's chemistry in here, and I will say this. I was not really feeling their chemistry. Sadly, I wasn't. Until episode 5 through 8. I actually felt their chemistry. When it was episode 1 through 4, I didn't really feel their chemistry that much. But when it got to episode 5 and beyond, I was like, you know what? I really am starting to feel their chemistry. I am. But even before that, I really wasn't. So yeah, overall, with Wonder Man, the whole series, I thought it was okay. There are some great things about it. I think when it gets to episode 5 and episode 6, 7, and 8, it does get a little better, but I know I always talk about, and y'all know I always talk about, how a show and a movie are supposed to hook you. The first episode just didn't really hook me, so with Wonder Man Season 1, the whole series, I am going to give this series a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I was going to give it a 3 out of 5, but I think I'll give it a 3.5. I think that's fair. And with Wonder Man, I will say, choose your time wisely. I know a lot of people are enjoying it, but if you are in the same boat as me, you might enjoy it, you might not enjoy it. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share this video. We just hit 1K subs a while back. We're now 1.2K. And the next big milestone is 2K and 3K after that. Beyond that as well. If you're new as well, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And let's talk about it in the comments down below. Did y'all like Wonder Man? Did y'all not like it? Are y'all in the same boat as me? Y'all just thought it was okay? Or y'all liking it just like all the critics? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies, wonderful people. Cheers.